There they go. All right, it's an unboxing today. We are going to find out how these guys did in this gigantic box. This thing is like 30 pounds. So, now they're going to tell you don't use a sharp implement to open these things, but like don't stab in, obviously. Anyway, so these are from a buddy of mine who was hanging on to a pair of my fish that were the children or grandchildren of some green dragons that I had. Lemon Cakes was involved in their lineage. And so I had shipped I had shipped my buddy a pair. When was that? Was that a year ago? It might have been a year ago. It was before I had moved to a house. So I was really just trying to make sure, because I knew I was going to be moving. I just wanted to make sure that something of that lineage survived. Just in case. Because, you know, sometimes things don't make it. Sometimes they don't make the move. And you just want to have, I call it arcing. Like A-R-K. I'm not especially religious, but it is a really good way to say what specifically, you know, what I'm doing. Just trying to make sure that some lineage survives. What is this? Knife. I'll set it right there on my 2-bucket table. It's perfect. Okay. So he has a family member who gets their medications in, still very warm. They get their medications in these cool, like, styrofoam box things. And, like, if you have access to these things and you want to ship fish, these things are perfect. You don't gotta cut styrofoam. You don't have to try to fit things into anywhere. Like, this is, like, these things are supposed to send vulnerable medications through the mail, and I mean, these guys are not vulnerable medications, but they're vulnerable fishes. As good as gold. Now, let's see how they made it. First bag on top, we got, look at that, swimming around. We don't even register any ammonia or anything on the filter pad, the poly filter. Perfect. Look at them. They're gonna be gorgeous. Just gonna set that there. Alright, one. A little bit of sogginess. It's probably because this bag was upside down. What do we got here? We got Definitely alive, good to go. Sweet. It's an live fish too. It's like, I know the business. I ain't gonna unstick myself from the wall of this bag. Yeah. So that's way more water than you would normally need to ship fish in, but that's fine. The thing that we were worried about was that we started shipping, not remembering that it's Veterans Day tomorrow. Tomorrow being the 11th of November, 11/11, and we don't get USPS postal service on the 11th of November. So of course, oh, look how yellow that is. Still got a little bit of a meal. See? Little baby lemon cakes. Well, not that little. Look how nice. Anyways, so yeah, so we put them in the mail, sent them out, and they were like, all right, expected delivery Friday. We're like, what? He took them to the post office in the morning on Monday, and then they were gonna be in the mail for a very long time, right? And that's just crazy time. That's just craziness. Alright. Oh, there they are. I got them. Being green dragons. Nice. Look at that. Oh, they're gorgeous. He took really good care of these guys. Anyway, so the other purpose of shipping them out there was because apparently in his part of Virginia they don't have them. It's not a common fish to just have. And so, set them up. Apparently the local fish stores that he knows are now excited to be dealing with him for these fish, and then they will always have them. Yes. Yes, look how gorgeous. Oh, we still got 2 more bags. And doing it this way saves me from having to ship a bunch of them back and forth all over the country. And I'll just have a local source because, you know, this is my guy. The guy out there. He's just got him. Yes. Oh, my little beauties, welcome home. Welcome home to the left coast. One more. One more. Do. One more. Sorry. Wow, look at the tail on that. Did you see that? Let's see if we'll show it again. Come on. Wow. That was amazing. Alright. Well, they're gonna go up in there and hang out with the endlers, and I've got another and a couple of bettas, and then I've got an adult green dragon female in there who, I mean, she just sort of hangs out. Sorry, at least reflection on my glass. But otherwise, there's no plecos in here. And I gotta start a water change on this. Get these guys acclimating in there. Now, okay, again, you wouldn't normally just pop fish in, especially if you know, but he's been running these tanks, like they were just shrimp tanks, right? And then he put my fish in that I sent him from my tanks. So if they have any parasites, then they are parasites that I already have. That's just the long and the short of it. Like, there's no way that they're gonna impact my system at all, really. I'm going to put these in here and they'll soak, and I will do a water change in here, and then I will put them in, and I don't think I can do that whilst making a video at the same time. Or maybe I can. I stand. It's gonna turn this into a much longer video though. Yeah, alright. Stand. Can I put this on? Oh, this side. This. I don't know. If this is the part that irritates you, you might want to click away. Just want to hang out with me while I do a water change. That's fine too. You know, what else? And if it floats your boat, makes you happy, you want to see me release plecos into my system, that's fine. Let's see, where are we at? Nice. So then the trick is going to be not running into it. So slightly cantilever. Let's just cantilever the other way. Okay, whatever, we'll do it. We'll do it to it. So I like doing water change before adding fish. Especially if you can see the water there is though that's by design, because I've got bettas in here and they will jump out. And here's where you guys are going to know that I'm crazy. I'm using this in a tank full of endlers, which can definitely go for rides in the tube, and they have. But it's just that I want to get the water out now. And then we'll see how crazy it gets. It's gonna get real crazy, isn't it? Or maybe it won't, I don't know. Sometimes they get curious and sometimes they don't. Hey. Alright. I apologize for the armpit shot. That's just how it goes. Hey. Hey, get away from there. Now I'm only doing a small 5-gallon water change because, quite frankly, I do water changes all the time. I like doing small water changes. Seems to just go a little bit better. One, two, three, four, five. Six. Now we can look at these fish a little bit better because they're in the water. See how high the water level got when I put those bags in? Like immediately. Like I know I've got the hose running in there, but it's not going super fast or anything. It would normally take like 20 minutes. Look at that. Look at that nearite. Yeah, he's got a little damage. But the thing about this nearite is that he is... I've had him for like 7 years. And I think that's kind of weird. Who has a nearite for 7 years, for goodness sakes? He just sort of hangs out and does his thing. I'm gonna go turn the water off. So they should see the water is off. they should end up sitting in here for a little bit, but their water was already pretty nice, relatively warm. Oh yeah, you can see them, they want to go. You want to hide in that wood pile right there, that's for sure. Holy cow. They're ready to go. He took such good care of these dudes. So anyways, I don't know if I've talked about lemon cakes or not, but lemon cakes is, or was, I guess, a pleco that I picked up when I was first kind of starting to get back into plecos, about 7 years ago. He was just labeled as a albino bristlenose, or a long fin albino, and I bought him and I took him home and I raised him up, and because he was labeled as albino, I was like, okay. So I went and I got him an albino girlfriend, and I thought, oh, how funny, the girlfriend has spots, like small little opaque spots, you know, whereas lemon cakes did not have spots. And I spent a long time trying to figure out what in the heck he even was. And so when he and the albino female had babies, they produced babies that were long fin but looked just like the female, instead of like lemon cakes, which was kind of crazy. I thought, like, what is going on here? And so I learned he actually sparked my whole desire to find out about various bristlenoses and stuff. Like I basically had no real knowledge of bristlenoses other than the fact that they were supposed to be the plecos that don't get too big, right? And so I ended up, for a while I thought maybe he was like a lemon blue eye bristlenose, but he had red eyes like an albino, and I thought that was, you know, kind of weird. Like maybe he's an albino lemon blue eye fish, I don't know. And I just kept, like, I tried breeding him with a brown bristlenose, and he just produced, let's see, he produced 50% brown and 50% albino, but all long fins. So all the fish that I was breeding him with were short fins. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. So I learned about that, and I learned that the long fin trait is actually dominant in these fish, even though it doesn't make sense. Like, people will hear me talk about this and they'll be like, well, what's the evolutionary benefit to them having a dominant gene there? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, it's some sort of weird mutation, obviously. Oh, by the way, I'm just babbling to let the bags come to temperature. It probably won't take very long, actually. I just don't want them to be temperature shocked when we do the old adding them to the tank thing. Anyway, and so where was I? Right. So I eventually one day I just had him in a tank. Like I'd run out of space, and I had these green dragons. Because at that point I was interested, right? And I had to combine some tanks for some reason, and Lemon Cakes managed to convince the female green dragon that she should be with him and not with the male. And I was like, oh, alright, okay. And so I ended up with a spawn of that, and I thought, oh, that's just going to be a bunch of garbage, right? But what came out was a bunch of green dragons. And that blew my mind. At that point, I was convinced that anything that you bred with lemon cakes was going to be, was going to end up being, you know, whatever the female was. So at that point, I tried breeding him with a L144 lemon blue eye, and it was just a bunch of brown bristle noses. And then I tried breeding him with a super red female, and I got a bunch of brown bristle noses again. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's go back. The thing that produced something cool, or something that wasn't a brown bristle nose, because don't get me wrong, brown bristle noses are quite cool, was the green dragon. And so then I thought, is he some kind of albino green dragon? So I wrote to Greg Sage, because you can just do that. Greg Sage is alive. You can write to Greg Sage if you want. I wrote him an email and I said, hey, I have this fish. He's an albino, and when I breed him to a green dragon female, I get green dragons. Is there such a thing as albino green dragons? And he goes, there is actually. And he said that he had been trying to breed that trait out. He'd been trying to select it away. And I was like, oh, are you okay with it if I try to bring it back? Because I really like him. Because I have one. And at that point, I felt kind of snazzy that I had, one, contacted the great Greg Sage, who is the guy behind working on and developing the Green Dragon pleco, but also I was just like, well, I've got this fish, I've got this legacy fish, and so I kind of considered lemon cakes to be like a legacy green dragon, because obviously somebody at that who frequented that store was clearly getting albino green dragons and green dragons and supplying both to them. And that store, which no longer exists, by the way, was just selling those albino green dragons as albino long fin bristle noses. And I don't know, it was just kind of awesome. So that being the case and everything, and so then when I ended up sending the I think it was the direct children of lemon cakes and that green dragon off to my buddy in Virginia, I was like, look, this is what's going to happen. You're going to breed them and you're going to get some albinos as well. And he's like, oh, okay. And he was excited because, of course, as I mentioned, they don't have them. They don't have green dragons out there. And he set them up, he got them breeding, and in the meantime, like a month ago, I went to, about like a month, maybe 2 months ago, I went to one of my Greater Seattle Aquarium Society auctions, and somebody was bringing a female green dragon to the auction, and I thought, well, that's fortuitous. And I didn't have any green dragons at that time. I just had none. I had sold all of them. So I bought the female and I brought her home, and I looked in the tank that Lemon Cakes was in and I didn't see him. It's like, where in the heck is this guy? He's always here. He's always right on this rock. He's always right in this cave, you know. I didn't see him. So instead of putting her in there, I just put her into quarantine. Because of course I didn't actually know who sold that fish. So I put her into quarantine, and oh, you guys probably want to see me do this part, huh? Hold on. One second. We'll go back to story time in just a second. My parents. So anyways, where was I? Right. And I couldn't find him, and she was just in quarantine, and I was just looking around for him, and finally I was trying to get all the, I had all these brown bristlenoses from the last breeding that he had done with a lemon blue eye female, and I dug the tank apart, and I got all of those fish out, and I still couldn't find him. And finally I took everything out, right? Because that's how you find a pleca. And I found in the bottom of one cave, or in the back of one cave, I found a skull, and a fin. And it was like a big, you know, old guy skull, right? And I was like, oh, crap. Lemon Cakes clearly has passed away in this tank, and I didn't even know it, you know? I didn't even know it. So then I contacted my buddy out in Virginia, and I was like, hey man, anytime you want to move those fish, let me know, because now I don't have any. I don't have. Lemon Cakes have just died, you know. And he, you know, and he had disappeared in the past before, just like vanished for months. And so I had just given him time. I thought maybe he would end up being okay, but no, he was definitely not okay. That is for sure. I mean, nobody else in that tank would have had a skull as big as his. And also I found his fin, which was really quite morbid. Yeah. So, my buddy in Virginia, he goes, alright, well, tell me how to ship. And I said, sure. And I said, I know this is going to be expensive, so I'm just going to send you all the shipping materials that I know you don't have. And that included bags and polyfilter. That's this little cube that's drifting around in here. And heat packs and a bunch of other stuff. And he was like, dude, these things are expensive. Do you need some money back? And I was like, no, man, you're going to be shipping me a big box of heavy fish. We just keep trading money back and forth. That's silly. We're just paying the bank at that point, you know. And I had Amazon Prime these things to his house. Because that way, you know, they got there. And then his family member happened to have these medication boxes. Didn't notice. Hey, get out of this bag, silly. Goodness. Anyway, so he didn't even have to cut any more or any new styrofoam in order to pack it. And yeah, that's pretty good. Still got a few more bags to go, so more story time, I guess. So anyways, so I managed to clear out this tank of plecos and then put the remaining green dragon pleco in there. She's just been hanging out by herself. Like, oh, I guess I get this whole thing. Sweet. Here, come look at this. There we go. Look at how nice that is. It's like golden. Anyway. Sorry, we're back to story time again. I suppose we could have you look at the bigger tank for a little while. Oh yeah, and when you're receiving fish, always double check your fish bags to make sure that you get all the fish out. Look at that. It's gorgeous. It's like an angel. So it's just kind of funny. I noticed recently on Greg Sage's website, and now I can't think of it off the top of my head. I always just Google Greg Sage green dragons, and then it brings me to his website, or his, yeah. And he, now, to be fair, Greek sage. To me, he's known for the green dragons. To other people, he is more known for all the cool, like, Native American live bearers and stuff that he does. Like, he does a lot of really cool things. And not just green dragons. But me being the Plinko nerd that I am, I always care more about the green dragons. I think he's in Colorado. Anyway, so what was I saying? So he has started selling albino green dragons on his site again. He's doing short fins, I think. He probably occasionally has long fin ones available, but so I'm not going to claim that I had anything to do with that, but I did think that was kind of cool. So anyway, this is like the long and expensive way to get more collections. At the time, I was super running out of tank space, and I just needed to make sure and preserve these guys just in case. Because that's the thing. One thing about lemon cakes is that as he got older, he stopped being. This did not come out of the bag. He stopped being willing to put up with younger males in his tank, and so he would just like straight up beat up other fish sometimes, and that was not cool. So you really do need space. Like if you're gonna keep a crowd of these guys, you really need the space to be able to do it. I just got really paranoid that maybe I had left some fish in a bag somewhere, but I doesn't look like it. Phew. Let's go. One more bag. So anyway, so I would see young males coming or popping up in Lemon Cakes' tank with injuries looking like they were trying to be in a cave and getting beat up from it. Males being pushed away from food, etc. It's not something that he did when he was younger, but as he got older, he did. And I think that when bristlenoses become like big enough and crotchety enough, they turn into grumpy old men. As weird as that is to see or to say. And I don't want to take any guff from any of y'all whippersnappers. Alright, I'm going to take this out of the stand. Sweet. Okay. So, oops, sorry for my fingertip. So here they are. They look fantastic. It is not focusing very well, but let's see if I can, there we go. There we go. Let's see, common questions. You see how there's like splotchy pattern on these darker ones? That is because they are stressed out from travel. So now we're gonna, so now we're putting them here for a little bit. They are in the water, but they are taking a break. It's a bit high for them to climb out, hopefully, just in case. Let's put that over here. I've definitely seen plecos climb out of the water before, but they seem to be doing okay. No sign of that one female yet. Oh well, she's in there. She was there yesterday. I didn't even count them. Is that weird? I didn't count them. Well, let's see. One, two, three, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say it's about 10. I'm not going to let them loose early just because it's a video. I need to feed the tank and them a little bit, just put a little bit of food in there with them. And then I'm going to feed everybody else. And you guys have seen me feed the fish before, so I'm not going to bother you with that. This video is already 50 minutes long almost. So, yeah. So I will let you guys go. Thanks for coming with me to see me unbox these fish. I know everybody likes an unboxing, right? Anyways, have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed story time with Alyssa. Put all this reflection. Yes, best video ever. Have a good day. Bye.